Hello and welcome to Logos College Online Learning. This is Achan Tato. Today, we're going to continue Unit 11 in your person-to-person student book number 2. And Unit 11, we're going to do Conversation 2 today. That's Conversation 2. That's page 92 in your book, page 92. All right. This conversation, it says, I'll never forget the time I. Okay. So he's talking about things in his past, experiences, things that he'll never forget. Right? And it says, think of an experience you had that you'll never forget. Why do you think you remember it so well? Maybe there's an experience when you were young in your childhood, when you were a little boy or a little girl, or maybe it was something that happened to you that was different, or something surprising, something that scared you, right? So we tend to remember things that are unusual, right? That are different. We don't usually remember things that are the same all the time. Maybe it's a food that you tried for the first time, right? My favorite kind of food is Italian food. So I remember the first time I had Italian food, and I'll never forget it because it tasted really, really good, and you remember things like that, right? As a child, I remember the first time I broke my leg. I was riding a bicycle and I fell and I broke my leg. And it hurt a lot. So I'll never forget that, how much it hurt and the pain that I felt. All right. So those are the types of things that you remember in your life. Maybe it's a party you went to, a parade, things that have a lot of color, a lot of music, a lot of sound. So things that appeal to your senses. These are types of things that you'll always remember and that you'll never forget. Okay, let's go to this conversation. And it's, again, Max and Shingale are speaking. Okay? And I want you to listen. I'm going to play this audio for you. And I want you to listen, again, to how he asks questions, okay? And then to Max's responses, all right? How does Max respond, okay? Listen to the emotions. Are there any emotions when he responds to certain things that Shingale says or certain things that Max says? Okay, let me play this audio for you.
Conversation 2. I'll never forget the time I.
Did I ever tell you about the time I found some money on the train?
No. What happened?
I was taking the train to my judo class when I saw a wallet on the seat next to me. I picked it up and it had about $150 in it.
What did you do? Did you keep the money?
No, I handed it to a police officer when I got off.
Good for you. That was really honest of you.
I had a nice surprise 3 months later. They called me and gave me the money. They couldn't find the person who lost it.
Well, I'll never forget the time I lost money.
Oh, no. Was it a lot?
I was on the train when I realized I had forgotten my train pass. I took out my wallet to pay for the ticket, and my wallet was empty. I was sure I had about $100.
So what did you do about the ticket? How did you get home?
Oh, I had to get out at the next station and walk. I went home and I searched everywhere.
Did you ever find it?
You won't believe it. I found it the next time I did laundry. It was in my pants pocket the whole time.
Okay. All right, so Shingo is like, did I ever tell you about the time I found some money on the train? He goes, and did you notice Max goes, no, what happened? Right? So he showed interest there. And he goes, Shingo, he picked up $150. And Max goes, what did you do? Did you keep the money? Right? So he's asking questions, he's showing interest. And when he says, good for you, notice he goes, good for you. Right? He doesn't say, good for you, or good for you. No, good for you. That was really honest of you. Okay? So he had a sound, his tone of voice, he sounded very sincere. Right? He really meant that. Good for you. And then when Shingale says, oh no, was it a lot? So when he said, oh no, he said, oh no. So he also sounded very sincere. Right? So these two guys, when they were talking, they were really listening to each other and interacting. Right? They were having a conversation. And when two people have a conversation, or when many people have a conversation, there's three things that you can do to keep the conversation going. Right? You can add follow-up information. That's details. You can add details. All right. You ask for more information. So if you're the listener, you can ask for details, and then you can show interest. Right? So both of these guys in the conversation did all three of these things. Let's look at here. He goes, no, what happened? Right? So there he asked for more information, and he showed interest. If the conversation just ended right there, what if Max just says, no, and then the conversation just ends, right? So when you're talking to your friends, you're chit-chatting, you want to have a conversation, you do these three things right here. Add follow-up information, ask for more information, and show interest. Here, Shingale adds information. He adds follow-up information, all right? Then Max asks again what happened, so he showed interest. He asked for more information, all right? And then down here, Max goes, well, I'll never forget the time I lost money. So now it's his turn. It's his turn to speak, and he gives information. And then Shingale, again, shows interest by asking for more information. Okay. All right, 2 points of grammar. I wanna talk to you about this from this conversation. Right. So look at this. He goes, "Did I ever tell you about the time?" All right. So he goes, "Did," and that's past tense. All right. Did is the past tense of do. I found some money on the train, so that's past tense of find. I was taking the train in my judo class when I saw a wallet on the seat next to me. I picked it up and it had about $150 in it. Okay. Look at this sentence right here. I'm sorry, this phrase. I was taking. Right. So was is the past tense of the verb be. Right? And then taking is a gerund. So this was taking the train. This is past continuous. Remember present continuous? You can say, I am taking the train. What are you doing right now? Right? Well, this is past continuous. And it talks about things that you did in the past that continued throughout the story until it was interrupted by an event. It was interrupted by when I saw a wallet. I picked it up. Right? So he was on the train, and then something happened that interrupted the action. Right? So I wrote a question over here. It says, is he still on the train? So while he saw the wallet, he picked it up, all right? He was still on the train. Yes, he was, right? So past continuous is, all right, is something that you use when you talk about something in the past that happened for a period of time, right? So look at this. Sue started swimming this morning at 9 a.m. She finished at 10:30 a.m. In between, Sue was swimming, all right? So some event in the past that happened for a period of time. So how do you form it? Subject, the past tense of the verb be, was or were, and then the verb and ing, the gerund. Right? She was cooking all morning. You want to say no, you put it in between was or were and the gerund. And then remember at a question, you flip the subject and the verb. Right? Was she sleeping when he came home? We use this, the main reasons why we use this is right here, to express interrupted action in the past and to describe parallel actions. Look at the examples. Look, interrupt. I was driving to work when I crashed my car. Right? So he was driving this morning, let's say this morning, he was driving to work and then he crashed his car. So when he crashed his car, that interrupted him driving to work. Obviously, once you crash his car, he's not driving to work anymore. He's done. His car is probably broken, right? And also to describe parallel actions. So there's two actions that happen at the same time. Or when I was washing the dishes, I heard a loud noise. Right? This can be like the noise interrupted you washing the dishes. Maybe you didn't stop washing the dishes and you heard the loud noise. Either way, past continuous is used for parallel actions and express interrupted action in the past. And it's the past tense of the verb be. Right? It's was or were and the gerund. Let's look at another piece of grammar here. It goes, Max says, I was on the train when I realized I had forgotten my train pass. Okay. Had forgotten. Now let's look at this. Had is the past tense of the verb have. And forgotten is the past participle. If you remember, have in the past participle is the present perfect. Right? In present perfect, we talked about things that began in the past and is still true till today. Right? I have been alive for 40 years. Right? I'm still alive. And it started in the past. I'm still alive today. Present perfect. But now, here he uses had forgotten. He uses the past tense of have. Right? This version is called the past perfect, not present perfect. In the past perfect, you form that by using the past tense of have and the past participle. All right, and the past tense of have is had. She had finished the test. You want to say no. She had not finished the test. She hadn't finished the test. And then the question, again, you flip the verb and the subject. Okay, so past perfect tense. When do you use it? Look at the sentence again. I was on the train when I realized I had forgotten my train pass. What happened first? What event happened first? Did he realize he forgot his train pass? Or did he forget his train pass? And then he's like, oh, I forgot my train pass. Right? So what happened first was he forgot his train pass. He was on the train, and then he was looking for it, and then he realized, oh, I forgot my train pass. So past perfect, you use it when you describe an action finished before another past action, right? He forgot his train pass. That's finished. Right? He forgot his train pass. And then he realized it. Right? Richard had gone out when his wife arrived in the office. So what happened first? Richard had gone out. Then his wife showed up to the office. Then his wife arrived in the office. So we use past perfect to describe an action finished before another past action. He had forgotten his train pass. He forgot this before he realized it. Richard left his office before his wife arrived. Okay, I'm gonna cut this video off right there. All right, so that's conversation 2, page 92. I broke the conversation down. Next video, I'm gonna go into page 93, and then we're gonna start describing stories. We're gonna tell a story, and then we're gonna respond to someone's story. Okay. So the main things to remember from this video, the 2 points of grammar: past continuous. All right, past continuous is the verb was or were plus ing, and we use that to express interrupted action in the past, to describe parallel actions. And past perfect, and that's the verb had, or past tense of the verb have is had, plus the past participle, and that's used to describe an action finished before another past action. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.